In today's show, great news. The Portland Trail Blazers are winning the 2025 NBA Draft Lottery. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter, Mike Richmond. Listen to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen. Coming at you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. As Locked On Blazers, your team every day. In today's program, I've got great news. The Portland Trailblazers are going to win the 2025 NBA Draft Lottery. The lottery, which will be held on Monday afternoon Pacific time, about 4 p.m. is when television coverage starts here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Adjust your time zones accordingly as needed, dear listeners. But 4 p.m., we will get the beginning of coverage, and within about an hour, about a half hour, a little less, the Blazers will be announced as the holders of the number one overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. That's right, they're winning the draft lottery. In today's show, we're only manifesting positivity. If you're an everyday listener, shout out to my everydayers or a longtime listener, I appreciate you. But I can be a little pessimistic. I can get a little negative. That I can often maybe lean towards the critical as opposed to the hopeful. Not today, folks. Not today. Bringing you only the positivity with reasons why the Blazers should and will win the NBA Draft Lottery and some history you need to know behind it that backs it up. Plus, we'll visit the stars because there are celestial bodies that are aligning in order to give the Blazers a wonderful chance, or as I see it, guaranteed chance of success. Here's the numbers that you need to know. They won't be meaningful because the only number you need to know is 100% because the Blazers are absolutely certainly going to win the draft lottery. But in case you're curious, the odds that they are about to beat when the selection is made, the Blazers have a 3.7% chance at drafting number one overall. Or 100%, depending on how you want to slice it. 4% chance at drafting 2, 4.4 at 3, and 4.8 at 4. That's a 16.9% chance all told at drafting top 4 overall. They cannot finish 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Those are not options for the Blazers. They can either jump into the top 4 or they're going to win. But in the math works such that they cannot finish in that middle of the lottery. The selections will be for the top 4 picks because that's what the lottery is for. It's just for the top 4 picks. And then 10 and below, depending on who, if any, other teams jump up along with the Trailblazers, who again will be winning the lottery. The Blazers have a 63.4% chance at picking 10th, an 18.5% chance at picking 11th, a 1.2% chance at picking 12th, and they have a non-zero chance, but less than 1% chance at picking 13th, and a non-zero chance, less than 1% chance, I believe it's a 1 in 1,100 chance at picking 14th. Whoa. That's an 81.9% chance of picking at 10 or 11. Again, overwhelming likely odds that they will be beating is that they will be pick a 63.4% chance they would pick 10th. But they're beating those odds. It doesn't matter. They're beating them. They're done. They're done. Don't even worry about it. I think it's important when you are manifesting something and you are being a true believer, which if you are listening to this, you are a true believer. If you are a non-believer, come back for a later episode, loser. I'm just kidding. Please stick around. I love y'all. No, get out of here, loser. If you're not being positive today, of all days, you pick one day out of the calendar year to be positive. Let's have some positivity today. If you're not into manifesting, or if you are into manifesting, and you should be because we're manifesting positivity here, I think it's important to have a clear vision of what you're manifesting, right? You want to say, this is exactly what I'm going to see before you see it. I believe in the past I've shared a story of winning a candy bar in elementary school, manifesting a victory for winning a Snickers. All about positive manifestation. I knew it was a Snickers. I got it when they did the random candy bar drawing because I had predicted it ahead of time. I'm bringing those positive vibes into here. So this is what you want to watch. You're going to sit down at your TV or however you are viewing it. Maybe you're watching your computer or your phone or through like your neighbor's window. Or if you're still at work, you're peering over someone's cubicle onto their cell phone. That's actually I think that's the true way to watch this lottery is on mute over someone's shoulder in their cubicle before you leave the office. And here's what you'll be seeing from your over the shoulder cubicle view. Chalk. That's what you're rooting for early. Chalk. So when Mark Tatum gets up to the lectern and he starts revealing the placards that have team logos on them, the first one you're going to see is the Atlanta Hawks. All right, pump your fist. Let's go. That pick's actually going to Sacramento. Or excuse me, that pick is actually going to San Antonio. But sure, it'll be. And I think the way they do it is they trade the rights. So they might even flip over the Spurs. Let's call it the Spurs. Flip over the Spurs. 14. Woo! All right. Good shape. Flip over the next one. This is the Kings pick that's going to the Hawks. That one will be the Hawks. Bang! Spurs, Hawks, you're in good shape. You got the positivity. You're rolling along. You're manifesting perfection. The next logo you're going to see is one of the great logos in sports, the Chicago Bulls. An iconic look. You love to see it. Bulls. You'll pick 12th. Enjoy it. Then 11 comes. This is where your heart starts to, you'll feel it, but you're bringing the positivity, so there's no reason to worry. When they flip it over, they'll show the Dallas Mavericks, that angry horse that's made into a blue basketball. Bang. No pinwheels yet. You're in great shape. And here's where it gets important. The 10th pick. You do not want to see that pinwheel. You do not want to see that pinwheel, folks. What you want to see is the Phoenix Suns, the flaming basketball. If you get to 10, when you get to 10, excuse me, I'm no conditional language. When we get to 10, when we were watching this from our cubicle over someone's shoulder on their cell phone, when the lottery order gets to 10 and the Blazers do not show up, it means they have jumped into the top 4. So that's what you need to see. San Antonio, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Phoenix. Bang. It means the Blazers have jumped up and everyone else is dropping back. They'll take a commercial break before they announce where the Blazers are, but if you get to 10 and you haven't seen the pinwheel, or when we get to 10 together on this journey of positivity, when we all get to 10 together, and you haven't seen the pinwheel, the Blazers will have jumped up. They'll be in the top 4 because they're going to win the lottery. I'm going to tell you why in the second segment. The Blazers are going to win the lottery. They're going to have Cooper Flagg. He's going to move to Portland, and there are some reasons why. Join me in that second segment, and I'll tell you why. The Blazers are winning the lottery. Before we get there, though, I want to tell you about DoorDash. If you're watching the NBA playoffs, well, someone's going to have a big night, and you can have a big old feast because playoff season, means big performances and even bigger rewards. DoorDash is bringing the heat with a slam dunk deal for DashPass members during the 2025 playoffs. It's called They Swoosh, You Score. Anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game, DashPass members score a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more and use that code Wingstop at checkout, and the combo is yours. Crispy, delicious, and totally free. The offer is valid from noon to midnight the day after the game, and terms apply. So, maybe you're someone who does use the delivery apps from time to time, and maybe you're someone who uses DoorDash from time to time. Well, if you ever look at your delivery fees and think, there's got to be a better way, well, if you sign up for DashPass, you get $0 in delivery fees and exclusive perks like this one. How much would you save in just one basketball season? So here's the play. Sign up for DashPass to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When a player scores 50 or more points in a playoff game, DashPass members can grab a 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the next day with a $20 order and the code WINGSTOP50. That's DashPass, your door to more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms apply. Today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Perhaps you're looking at your bank account and you're thinking, where has my cash gone? Because you're buying stuff, you're entertaining yourself, and you're just living your life in an expensive world. It can be easy to lose track of your funds, and that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's not just a budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, all your investments, and all your spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start building your wealth. What I like about Monarch Money is because you can plan on 2 tracks. You can have a long-term track. Hey, I want to save some money for future me. In 2035, I'm going to want this cash. Let's start 10 years down the line building wealth for the future. But you can also set short-term goals, and you can plan and save in 2 buckets at the same time. So say you want to spend some money at the end of July of 2025, a couple weeks from now, 6 weeks from now. You can do that too, along with your long-term goals. You can take control of your finances with Monarch Money, and you can use Locked On NBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, and the code is Locked On NBA for half off your first year. All right. The Trailblazers are going to win the lottery. I'll give you some reasons why, but they're going to win the lottery. Positivity, truth. I'm not afraid of this. I don't believe in jinxes. I might be a little superstitious in my real life, but I'm throwing those out. I'm not even a little stitious today. I am a true believer. The Blazers are winning the lottery. First and foremost, they're going to be rewarded for their noble and ethical approach to the season. Math is for dorks and losers, and the Blazers have appeased the gods by winning. They won basketball games. They won 36 of them. They didn't fade games down the stretch. They played pretty much everybody until about game 80. Everybody who was available till game 80 and said, let's do this. We are not afraid. We're going to win basketball games. In fact, they were not a particularly good team at the midway point of the season, and they hit the Jets, right? They turned it on and were better in the second half of the season than they were in the first half of the season in the name of doing things the right way. Capital R, capital W, the right way. For positive development, for creating a winning culture, for winning basketball games, because when you go out to play an NBA basketball game, the point is to win. And sure, the NBA has perverse incentives, which does very specifically reward teams for losing. But the Blazers, after a few years of really embracing those perverse incentives, said, no, we will win basketball games. We will not fake injuries. We will push forward with the righteous intention of playing basketball for the point of basketball, which is to win games with players on your roster and not lose games with a bunch of 10-day mercenaries. And if there is anything righteous in this world, the Portland Trailblazers will be rewarded and sit atop the draft order, because the universe, the gods, the powers that be, they understand what it's right to do things correctly, noble, pure, and true. And the Blazers winning 36 games this season was the most noble, pure, and true pursuit that you could possibly dream up. No team has more earnestly chased the 10th seed in order to finish 10th in the West in a surprising season, only to say, hey, we came up short and it's okay. Odds be damned. And indeed, the odds are a little bit damned, but the Blazers will be rewarded for this noble pursuit. The other reason the Blazers are going to win the lottery is because Cooper Flagg has Portland connections, and they deserve to be united here. Deserve, as many of you know, famously has everything to do with it. And Cooper Flagg has a deep connection with Donovan Clingan. Their mothers played basketball together at the University of Maine. In fact, Cooper wore 32 in high school to honor Donovan Clingan's late mother, Stacy, who passed away in 2018. And Flagg chose his number as a high school student, as a teenager, at number 32. Of course, he did not wear 32 at Duke because it was not available, retired by Christian Laettner, who never had any success at Duke. Don't look it up. And Flagg and Clingan remain, they're longtime family friends and maintain a close relationship. They are from childhood acquaintances to now future NBA adults and teammates. A wonderful story. You may have seen a picture of them floating around wearing their mom's basketball jersey, the University of Maine basketball jerseys. Could the NBA want more than to have that wonderful story of two childhood friends who one, supported a close friend through grief and tragic loss and honored a family friend back together again to pursue their goals on the highest stage? Bring Flagg to Portland. They deserve it. The other reason, well, there's a couple actually. Let's start here. The New Balance store in Portland is less than a mile from the Blazers practice facility. Cooper Flagg is famously a New Balance athlete. And there's a lot of times when like a Zion Williamson or Anthony Davis name will be thrown around, and they'll say, well, or James Harden, say, oh, well, he's a Nike athlete or he's an Adidas athlete. And, Adidas would, certainly love to have that athlete in town so they could work closely with him. Jordan Brand would love to have Zion in town so they could work with him. That is always specious reasoning on account of like everything we know about how global brands work. But the New Balance store is close to the PF. Those other places, Nike Global Headquarters, fairly far from the Blazers practice facility in Tualatin. Adidas, pretty close to my house, far, about an hour's drive, sometimes with traffic, but, a half hour from the Blazers practice facility. The New Balance store in Bridgeport Village, shoot, you can walk over there. 15 minutes from the Blazers practice facility if you walk slow. Less than a mile as a crow flies. Less than a mile driving your car. If our beloved friends at New Balance want to work with their signature athlete as he makes his jump to the league, well, shoot, he'll be at work right down the block and he can stop over at their retail outlet anytime. He could do a daily visit. New Balance would never have more convenient access to Cooper Flagg than when he is at home practicing at his job. All that specious reasoning about Nike and Adidas needing athletes in town, our good friends at New Balance will have one right next door. And what an opportunity to go to Bridgeport Village. Do some shopping. Get yourself some shoes. And the last reason the Blazers are winning the lottery is for you, dear listener. I think it would be important to test my own Tar Heel impartiality, to hype up and maybe even cape for a Duke kid who goes number 1 overall. Carolina has not produced an all-star in quite some time. Please don't look that up. And having to hype up a Dookie as the Blazers' next all-star, the face and savior of the franchise, would be the type of irony that you, dear listener, deserve. I'm a hater. Truly. It's in my bones. I don't like that. I don't like that university at all. Pretty much anything about it. From its fake Gothic architecture to smarmy coaches of the last few years. Don't care for them. And a test of how impartial I'm willing to be when the Blazers franchise savior lands in their lap would be at least enjoyable for you, dear listener. Mike, say some more nice things about Cooper Flagg, buddy. Mike, how about Duke producing another star, bud? Mike, when's Carolina going to have an all-star drafted again? I don't know, maybe Drake Powell pops. Blazers get a pick in the 50s. Save Drake Powell. Flagg's coming here. The Blazers win the lottery because of his emotional and personal connections with Donovan Clingan, because of his financial connections with a retail outlet at Bridgeport Village, and because you need me to suffer. You, dear listeners, should have to watch me squirm and say nice stuff. And the final reason that this is all happening is because there are celestial bodies that have aligned. It's real. The universe and the stars have given us a true guarantee of the Blazers winning this thing. I'll tell you about celestial bodies and give you a little Blazers history lesson in the third segment. Join me there. First, though, let's talk Hungryroot. Listen, you might have a lot going on in life. That's just the nature of living out here. You might be saying this is busy season as we head into summertime, or you might just be saying, all of my seasons are busy. I don't have a lot of time to go grocery shopping or cook healthy meals at home. And that's why you could be using Hungryroot. It's like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist wrapped into one. They take care of grocery shopping and meal planning, and they offer personalized recommendations based on your tastes and your health goals. So Hungryroot's going to tailor orders to what you like. Or if there's things that you don't like, they'll get smarter as your next orders and say, hey, this wasn't the personal preference that they wanted. Let's make sure we get it right. They've got high-quality, nutritious food, so you can stick to your gut-friendly or your high-protein diets without spending hours planning. And the meals are quick. They come together in 15 minutes or less, giving you more time for whatever it is you got on your plate. That's, kids' activities, if you just want to hit the gym, spend time with your friends, or other hobbies that you might be pursuing that take up time when grocery shopping and cooking healthy get in the way. Take advantage of this exclusive deal. Get 40% off your first box, plus a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use the code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA for 40% off and a lifetime free item. Still a pass first point guard. Still Mike Richmond. You are still listening to Locked On Blazers. We talked about Cooper Flagg's personal connection, familial history with a member of the Portland Trail Blazers, the most recent lottery pick, Donovan Kling, and we talked about a retail outlet in Bridgeport Village, and we talked about how there's a certain amount of irony in making a Chapel Hill native Tar Heel hype up the Blazers' future at the number 1 overall pick from Duke. If you don't like irony, if you don't like retailers, and the familial history doesn't hit you, I invite you to look to the skies. On Monday morning at 9:55 a.m., May 12th, in Portland, Oregon, there will be a full moon in Scorpio. Indeed, an auspicious sign, a full moon. Overnight, it'll look very large. You're listening to Monday, May 12th show. It's coming out on Sunday. And as you head into this, this show will be live everywhere before the moon is officially full. Maybe you look up in the sky on Sunday night, or maybe you're listening to this on Monday and you looked up in the sky last night and you said, it's a big old moon. That's a full moon in Scorpio. The flower moon, as it were. And it is a powerful one. It is a powerful one, particularly for where the Blazers stand in their pursuit of a sealed envelope with their logo inside of it. Selected last, revealed finally as they celebrate getting the top pick in the draft and changing the future of their franchise dramatically. A full moon, and I consulted with my Wiccan wife, not practicing Wiccan, but someone who knows about the moon, among other experts on the internet. Shout out to Channy Nichols for my insights into the full moon in Scorpio. A full moon, and here's your Cliff Notes version. Celestial powers at work. A full moon highlights or emphasizes whatever sign it's in. So like the traits most associated with that sign often come to light under the full moon. They are highlighted or shown upon. And Scorpios are known for being secretive, passionate, or put another way, Scorpios or that Scorpio energy often deals with the shadows, what is happening below the surface. And a full moon in Scorpio can be capable of great transformation in revealing exactly these things, our passions, our secrets, or the shadows, the things that are happening below the surface. What could be more Scorpio than revealing a transformative secret that is happening below the surface? Or, showing you a secret envelope that's going to change the path of the franchise. There is no greater secret currently held in New York City than who's going to win the lottery. Obviously, they haven't completed it yet, if you believe, but it's coming. The secret will be revealed. What's lurking in the shadows will be revealed. And the great transformations offered to us by this full moon in Scorpio will happen under the light of that giant moon, heading into Monday's drawing. the celestial bodies have aligned. The Blazers are winning the lottery. And perhaps you don't believe in the power of the moon. Perhaps you don't live with anyone who can tell you what sign the full moon is in when it happens. I do. I'm very lucky in that way. How about a little history lesson? The Blazers are going to win the lottery because it just follows the pattern of history. The Blazers, in their time, have been in the lottery 11 times. In their history, have been in the lottery 11 times. 5 consecutive years from 04 to 08, 04, 05, 06, 07. Twice in 2012 and 2013. And then 2022, 2023, and now for an 11th time in 2025. Excuse me, I missed 2024 in there. Way back in 2004, shout out to Sebastian Telfair, the Blazers had the 13th best odds going in the lottery. Finished right there, no movement. In 2005, they had the 4th best lottery odds, and they jumped up to 3rd, one spot. In 2006, they had the worst record in the NBA, the best lottery odds heading into the lottery drawing, and they dropped to 4th. A bummer. The following year, in 2007, they had the 7th best lottery odds. Just a 5.3% chance at picking number 1 overall, and they were given the number 1 overall pick. Awarded it. They jumped from a drop to a jump. In 2008, 13th again. Didn't move. In 2012, they had 2 picks in the lottery. Neither of them moved. In 2013, 10th. Nowhere. That's Dame, Myers, Leonard, and CJ, for those of you scoring at home. In 2022, they dropped from the 6th best lottery odds to 7th. And in 2023, they jumped from 5th to 3rd to draft Sterling Scoot Henderson. In 2024, they had the 4th best lottery odds going to the lottery and dropped to 7th, where they selected Donovan Clingan. Now you may say, okay, who cares? Well, let me highlight an inarguable pattern in the history of the Blazers lottery results. Every time they have dropped in the lottery, they have been back in the lottery the following year, and they have jumped in the lottery. Every time. In 2006, they dropped from 1st to 4th. The following year, they jumped from 7th to 1st. A drop and a jump. In 2022, they dropped from 6th to 7th. The following year, in 2023, they jumped from 5th to 3rd. A drop and a jump. The Blazers in 2024 dropped from 4th to 7th. And if we know anything about an irrefutable pattern in the Blazers lottery history, a drop in the lottery is followed by a return trip to the lottery and a jump. That's how it works. You drop, then you jump. It's coming. The Blazers are going to win the lottery. It's a done deal. Congratulations. Go ahead and celebrate. Tell your friends. If you would like to watch me celebrate this very lottery, the very outcomes of the lottery, tune into tomorrow's show. I'm going to be on with the Locked On NBA gang, and we'll be recording a live reaction to the lottery with all my colleagues who host lottery teams who are in the lottery. They will have to bow down and kiss the ring once the Blazers are victorious, and I'll have a show for you reacting to the results. We'll talk a lot about Cooper Flagg because, again, the Blazers are winning the lottery. So tune in tomorrow's show where I will have a deep dive on the excellence of Cooper Flagg and how he will change the Blazers' trajectory, change the franchise, and lift them to new heights because the Blazers are winning the lottery. That's going to do it for today's show. Tell your friends about the program. 5 days a week, wherever you get podcasts, also on YouTube. I appreciate you listening. I'll talk to you soon.